Have you ever had one of those days where everything just feels heavy? Maybe you felt lonely or sad, or like the world just doesn't quite see you. And in those moments, food calls to you like a warm hug, promising to make you feel better. Whether it's ice cream, macaroni and cheese, a bag of chips, it feels like the only thing that understands. And if this sounds familiar, I'd like you to meet another emotional eating part called the comfort eater. The comfort eater is that part of you that steps in when life just feels cold and overwhelming. Its mission is simple. It's just to give you a sense of safety, warmth, and care. So today we're going to explore why the comfort eater exists, what it's really trying to do for you, and how you can help it find new ways to meet your needs without always relying on food. Let's talk about what the comfort eater is really doing. This part of you often shows up when you're feeling emotionally vulnerable. The comfort eater steps in and says, I can help. I can make you feel better. And its tool of choice? Of course, it's food. Because food can be soothing. It's accessible, it's reliable, and in that moment, it fills the void. In IFS terms, the comfort eater is another protector. Its job is to shield you from the feelings of loneliness, sadness, or rejection. It wants to help kind of like wrap you in that blanket of safety. But the way it goes about it, turning to food, can leave you feeling disconnected from yourself, frustrated, or even more alone after the momentary comfort fades away. Now, the comfort eater, it's not here to harm you. It's actually there to help you. But it's relying on a strategy that may have worked in the past, like when you were a child and fell down and skinned your knee and a cookie made it all better. But that just might not be serving you anymore. Now, let's talk about where your comfort eater came from. Like the stress eater, this part of you often has its roots in your past, shaped by the experiences you had growing up. Think back to your childhood. Maybe comfort wasn't something that came easily. Perhaps you grew up in a household where love and care weren't always openly expressed, or you were taught to be strong and suppress your emotions. Food might have been one of the few ways you felt nurtured, like that warm bowl of soup when you were sick, or the ice cream treat after a tough day at school. Those moments of comfort created a connection in your mind that says food equals care. Food became a way to soothe when there wasn't anything else to turn to. If you felt sad, lonely, or invisible, food was always there, a dependable source of relief. Your comfort eater learned that food could fill emotional gaps when connection or support just felt out of reach. Now, this part of you isn't wrong for using food this way. It was doing the best it could with the tools it had at the time. But now as an adult, you have the opportunity to recognize those patterns and offer your comfort eater new ways to feel cared for, ways that don't always involve food. So think about a time when the comfort eater showed up for you. Maybe it was a rainy day when you felt down, or you found yourself eating a pint of ice cream on the couch. Or perhaps it was after an argument with someone that's close to you, and you turned to a favorite snack to make the pain a little easier to bear. These moments are common, and they're deeply human. The comfort eater's behavior is about more than the food. It's about finding ways to feel loved, safe, and cared for when those feelings just seem out of reach. And for a short while, food does work. That bowl of pasta or plate of cookies brings a sense of relief, like when you're being wrapped in a nice warm hug. But when the comfort fades, it often leaves behind guilt, frustration, or even shame, creating a cycle that feels almost impossible to break. But what if you could help your comfort eater find a new way to give you that warmth and safety that you're craving? What if it could learn that comfort doesn't always have to come from food? Just like the stress eater, the key to working with your comfort eater is to approach it with curiosity and compassion. Instead of trying to silence it or judge it, take a moment to ask, what are you trying to give me right now? What do you think I need? You might discover that your comfort eater is trying to bring you a sense of love, connection, or even peace. So once you've identified what your comfort eater is looking for, you can start to explore other ways to meet that need. Here's a few ideas. If you're feeling lonely, you could reach out to a friend or a loved one. Even a quick text can remind you that you're just not alone. If you're feeling sad, you could make a cup of coffee or tea or journal your feelings. If you're craving love and connection, you could engage in something that feels nurturing, like cuddling with a pet or listening to uplifting music or practicing a small act of self-kindness. These alternatives don't replace the comfort eater, they work alongside it, showing it that there are other tools available to help you feel safe and cared for. And over time, your comfort eater can begin to trust these new strategies, and the pull towards food in those moments will start to fade. So I want you to remember this: the comfort eater isn't bad or weak. It's simply a part of you trying to help in the only way it knows how. And when you take the time to listen to it and offer it new tools, you're not just changing your relationship with food, you're showing yourself the love and care you truly deserve. In the next video, we'll meet another emotional eating part, the secret eater. This part often shows up when shame or secrecy is involved, and I'll share with you how you can work with it in a way that feels freeing and empowering. So if this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. What does your comfort eater turn to, and how do you think it's trying to help? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series. Understanding your emotional eating parts is the first step towards transforming your relationship with food and finding deeper peace within yourself. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.